Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Guys, let's get it started with Nick Ball versus TJ Doheny. This was ESPN, wasn't it, Beeb?
It was, I believe, DAZN actually.
Was it DAZN?
Yes, because they started this is their first fight on DAZN, and also it was on TNT Sports over in the UK.
Gotcha. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, so it was on DAZN this fight.
There you go. Nick Ball versus TJ Doheny. Nick Ball wins by TKO over Doheny in the 10th round. Nick Ball turned up the pace like he always does, and just he just went right through this guy, man. He really did. So let's talk about this early in the fight, like at the end of that first round. All right. A lot of people were talking about this and everything like that. I don't think Nick Ball did anything wrong here. So at the end of the first round, Doheny puts him in like a front face lock, right? Mm-hmm. And you could see the on the angle, you could see him, he's guiding his head, and then all of a sudden you could see him cinch up.
Yeah,
you saw him like cinch up.
That's dangerous stuff.
That's real dangerous. You know what?
You can injure somebody's neck badly that way. It's not.
You can injure somebody, and I tell you, it's if you're not used to being choked, it's like 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. That you could go out and feel some pain from that and feel some, really discomfort or lightheadedness or whatever.
Yeah, it's not only cutting off the airwave, it's also, damaging the muscles in the neck.
Well, sure, because it's like stretching them, So it's not a, and then so what Nick Ball did apparently is took his knee and just rammed it right in the back of his leg, I guess in the back of his thigh or whatever.
Like when you're walking, the kids will do a prank on you and they'll knee you in the back of your cap, and you like this.
And I tell you what, the way you hit them, man, those hurt. Those aren't comfortable by a long shot. They're effective too. Mm-hmm. And as Doheny found out, but that was just a cheap move by Doheny. He was doing this all throughout the first couple rounds. He was talking to him. Because I think he knew he was overmatched. I think that's what it was. He knew he was overmatched. And you could see he was overmatched.
Here's the problem too with referees. They'll always react to certain infractions, but won't react to other infractions. So Nick Ball was getting reprimanded, and he actually eventually got a point taken away for pushing. But if a guy's grabbing on your neck, you gotta push him to get him off you. Like if you're being fouled and you're trying to, stop yourself from being fouled because the ref is not doing anything, you have no choice but to retaliate some way, shape, or form, because you have to, stop the other guy from doing what he's doing. Because I remember, I think it was Lamont Peterson fight where he got a point taken away for pushing, but Lamont Peterson was coming in. I'm not saying it was intentional, but he was coming in low with his head. And if you have to push, so you're not going to get headbutted, because the referee's not going to do anything about that. So you have to actually protect yourself because the referee is not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So Doheny was grabbing him by the head, wrapping him around the waist. He was like on him like a cheap suit. So at some point you got to push the guy off. Shouldn't have to deal with that the whole fight, right?
Angry Casual Fan says Ball is a dirty fighter. I'm surprised y'all are saying he's the victim. He's not a dirty fighter. He's not a dirty fighter. Gavin's Go says refs too lenient on both with the clinch and that kick. I didn't see anything. Like I said, man, when you put me in a chokehold and we're in a boxing match,
once you stop putting,
you're lucky. I tell you, you're lucky he didn't hit you low, because he should have hit him low. He should have just aimed up, bam.
That's the thing, man. It's one thing, pushing somebody, but when you stop messing with someone's neck, that's you saw what happened with Chris Eubank Jr. when Nigel Benn put his hand on his throat. He said, "You do that again, you're not getting the hand back." Don't fuck with people's throats here. Excuse my language.
I'll tell you what, you put your hand on my throat, or you put your hand on your throat, my throat, anybody, you're getting hit. There's no two ways about it. That's going to cause a fight.
Someone touches Robbie's throat, they're getting jacked up. I'm not allowing that.
true.
He's down with the crew. We don't let people touch Beeb Industries employees.
No way. Not even a little bit.
Over here.
That's right. Let's see here. Doheny didn't do much in the fight. Like I said, he just tried to distract him a lot of times, tried to get under his skin, that kind of thing. But
yeah,
overall, he just wasn't effective. I mean, he just wasn't.
No.
Ball was able to get in there, hit him with some big shots ultimately before stopping him in the 10th. Beeb, you're a big fan of Nick Ball. I know, huge fan of Nick Ball because he's like he reminds me a lot of like a Ricky Hatton type, where he's always on it. He's coming forward.
Yeah.
If he's in the ring, he's coming forward.
Yeah.
What the road?
Guys, I'm getting tired of these attacks on Eric. Eric is a very stocky individual, okay?
That's right.
Enough with these appearance jokes with Eric. If you met him in a bar, you would not be throwing these insults his way.
That's right. That's right.
Stop.
You wouldn't be throwing the insults because I'd be buying you guys drinks because I don't like to get into fights. That's how I work. I'm 52 now. 52. We're gonna be 52.
That's right.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Look at me. My face is suffering from erosion. Anywho, please. So Naoya Inoue is already booked up.
Yeah.
He was booked up prior to this fight, right? Where does Nick Ball go from here? And let me ask you first, does he have a shot at beating Inoue?
I would favor Inoue in the fight, as everyone probably is right now. But Carl Frampton actually is backing Nick Ball against Inoue. I think it's a tough fight.
Homer, son.
I think it's a tough fight, Eric.
For who?
For both guys. I don't think it's a walk in the park for Inoue. I'd have to favor Inoue.
You know what I see this fight looking like?
Go ahead. Tell me.
El Pantera. Remember when Pantera fought Inoue? Luis, what was it? Luis, what was his name?
Luis Neri?
Neri, that's it. Yeah, that was it. Pantera. And he knocked him down and everything because he comes forward and he goes and he throws, throws some punches with, mean intentions.
The thing what people don't realize about Nick Ball, and I always say this about inside fighting. Everyone thinks that inside fighting is just being gritty, just being tough, being rugged, but a lot of it is about body positioning, right? And changing levels. And when you're on the inside, like Nick Ball is hard to pin down when he's coming inside because he's always changing levels. He's already short as it is, but then when he's changing levels on top of it all, it's hard to catch this guy clean on the way in to stop the momentum. And then when he gets in there, he's constantly moving his head, stepping off to the side, spinning you. He doesn't just stay right in front of you. You know what I mean? So body positioning on the inside is very important. Another guy who was great at that was Andre Ward, because he would always, wrap you, maneuver, step around you, throw the shots around the sides. He would never just stand square in front of you, ripping shots down the center, right? He would always angle, blading, being able to blade your body while you're on the inside. And I think Nick Ball, a lot of those little subtleties that I just described, I think Nick Ball is great at doing that. And that's why he's so hard to hit when he's in that little that shell of his, and then he springs up and he's like boom and he's back down. He's like I'm just telling you, it's a tough style to deal with, right? And Inoue is a great fighter. He's more of a mid-range guy. And if Ball gets in his chest and takes that space away from him, it's going to be interesting how he deals with that. I'm not saying that he can't step back and shoot an uppercut, but I'm thinking about the fight. I'm playing.
What
it
about
out
the size difference too? Inoue can jab him to death, man, and there's nothing he can do about it. I mean, he's 5'2". Inoue's 5'5". That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Not to mention he's been at the weight and everything like that. That's a tough sell, man. That's a tough sell. I love the fight though.
Yeah. If he doesn't hurt him and Ball's able to work on the inside the way he wants to, it's going to be a long night for Inoue. And that's a big if, because when he moved up to 122, the question was, is he going to carry his power up? And he sure as hell did. And I suspect he'll be able to carry it up. I think 126 will be the ceiling. And I'm,
yeah, for sure.
So,
but like but I tell you what, I think that fight comes off.
It's definitely coming off. I think each guy will have a fight in between.
And a lot of people think it's coming out in Japan, that he'd be forced to fight him in Japan. But I wouldn't be surprised if he fights him in Riyadh. I wouldn't.
That fight could happen in Saudi, right?
Yeah.
Or, this guy does great. Both guys do great numbers on their home turf. Like Ball had a good crowd yesterday. And Inoue, with Inoue can bring
Inoue's in Japan in the Tokyo Dome. You know what I mean? He's selling that thing out constantly.
Yeah. Whoever, who it depends. Who's ever funding the fight, it's going to be where they want it to be, right?
Yeah.
So if Turki Al-Sheikh is back in the fight, it'll be where he wants it to be.
Yeah. And I would like to see it on a neutral zone. I would like to see it in Riyadh. I don't want to see it in England. I don't want to see it. Listen, the crowd is going to be great in either place. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But to me, the fight's much more effective if we're at a neutral venue.
And Nick Ball's fought in Saudi before.
Oh, yeah.
He fought on Tyson Fury undercard. So, they already know him there. So.
Iceman said Ball is coming at Inoue with his power. I'm pretty sure Inoue can hurt him. I don't know. We'll see.
Possible. I mean,
anything he could probably hurt him for sure.
So
but
you would go with Inoue. You would go with Inoue in that fight. Do you think it would be competitive, or do you think?
Yeah. Like I said, man, I think it looks a lot like that Neri fight.
Okay.
I think both guys give and take. I think both guys take big shots.
Do you
think it ends in a knockout?
You think Inoue hits the canvas in the fight?
It's possible.
Yeah,
it's very possible.
Both guys can hit the canvas, huh?
I'm telling you, man, Neri put him out. Neri put him down, and who was the other one?
Doheny gave him a hell of a fight.
I was going to say the Filipino.
Doheny gave him a hell of a fight, busted up his eye.
Yeah, now that second fight, not so much. But that first fight, he wasn't ready for it, man.
No, he wasn't ready.
And he put it on him. But, now Inoue can take a shot too.
Mm-hmm.
Inoue, it ain't his first time at the rodeo either. He's been in tough fights. He's been tested. He's been battle tested. He's been in there, man. Somebody said Stephen Fulton versus Nick Ball. That would be a good fight too. I think that's a great fight.
Listen, I don't hate that fight either. That's a great fight too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I don't know how you can not like Nick Ball. I know the angry casual doesn't like him. But I'll tell you this. I mean, like I said, you can't help but not like him.
No, I love
because he's a fan guy. He gives you what you want, man. You're watching that fight. He's going to give you what you want. He's going to give you what you came for.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Nick Ball.
Yeah, I am too.
Very, very fan-friendly style.
Now, like I said, Frank Warren after the fight said they're not going to wait for Inoue. What is his next option? Like I said, I think they'll both have fights in the meantime. But how does Inoue's deal go? Is it Las Vegas, Riyadh, and then Japan, or Las Vegas, Japan, and then Riyadh? Or has it even been determined?
Yeah, I know his next fight's going to be in Las Vegas. That's all I can tell you.
That's already set.
I don't know what the future is after that.
Yeah.
But
I thought he had like a 3-fight deal or something like that with Turkey.
Oh, with Turkey? Yes, I don't know.
And Turkey,
I actually don't know, Eric, to be honest.
You'll get the fights you want. You know what I mean? You're going to get those fights you want, man. That's for sure.
I'm a huge Turki Al-Sheikh fan, man.
I am too. I mean, he's doing good things. And let's talk about, what? I didn't even put it on this week, but when we get down to the news and rumors, I want to talk about that TKO thing a little bit more.
No problem. I find myself constantly talking about that, man, because people keep coming at me with the sky is falling, and I'm like,
I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't. I really don't get that. I really don't.
Enough. People are just so insecure.
Why is it? I don't understand. Like when PBC came out, everybody took a dump on it, right? And then when DAZN came out, everybody took a dump on it. Like
people just don't like people don't like anything new, bro.
Right. Like, I don't care. As long as I can watch big fights and they're making big fights, I don't care.
That's right.
I don't care. And I don't care who's making what. I don't care anything about that, man. As long as I'm able to watch them.
And if Turki Al-Sheikh is cutting the checks, history has shown us it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who cares if they have their own belt? Does that mean the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO are going away? No.
Cares?
Like boxing is still going to operate the way it always does. This is just an added thing on top of it.
Look,
right?
This could be so much better. This could be so much better.
I think
it will be. I honestly do.
With this, they're going to focus in the United States with this, and I think UK's doing great, Japan's doing great, Mexico's like all the countries overseas that are doing great. They're going to leave them alone. This is basically going to be focused in the United States because that's where the market really needs help.
Angry Casual says Turkey's checks and Dana's motto is a perfect marriage. I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, stop it. What's the matter with you?
I mean, the guy's been Debbie Downer the whole show.
I
needed some.
What's the matter with you?
I needed some sign of positivity out of the guy,
From Lex Luthor, people fear what they don't understand and hate what they can't conquer. Well, there you go.
That's right.
Words to live by. All right, on the undercard of the Nick Ball fight was Nick Ball card anyway. Andrew Kane versus Charlie Edwards.
Good fight.
Charlie Edwards, man. Yeah, Andrew Kane wins split decision. 115, 114, 116, 112 to Kane, and then 115, 113 to Edwards. So Kane wins a split decision. All right, let's dial it back. I think this was Wednesday, Beeb. Tuesday or Wednesday?
I think it was Wednesday, actually.
I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
And it was like Wednesday in the morning. It was like early. I didn't catch the fight. I caught it late.
9 in the morning on the PBC YouTube channel, actually.
Was it 9 in the morning?
Yeah.
All right, Keith Thurman versus Brock Jarvis. Thurman wins by a third-round TKO over Brock Jarvis. I saw that you posted something, and it pretty much echoed my exact feeling about that fight. That I was somewhat happy to see Keith Thurman win in that match.
Finally get a fight on the record after 3 years. Like the guy, people are giving Keith some stick. I think he's had some bad. I think generally people say there's no such thing as bad luck. Bro, this guy's had some bad luck. Like he's been injury after injury, He's had
a lot of injuries and stuff.
So
and he's a little bit, honestly, he's past his prime. I don't think there's anybody that would tell you otherwise. He's definitely past his prime. Yeah. And I don't know that he has another championship run in him.
Yeah.
But you know what? I felt good for him. Like I said, when I watched this fight, I felt good for him because that guy was hungry. He was a hungry challenger, man. He wasn't on the skill level, but he was hungry.
Yeah.
And for Keith Thurman to handle him the way he did and to get him out of there the way he did, that guy came in.
Highlight reel. It was a nice highlight reel for Keith.
Yeah. And I didn't mind it. I really didn't. Like I said, man, I'm not Keith Thurman's biggest fan, but I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that. I was happy for him. And I was like I said, I was hoping Brock Jarvis wins because you always want to see the underdog win. But I said, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. Yeah. And he looked good. He
did. And this is what he needed after a 3-year layoff. So
he needed this fight, right?
People are going to make fun of the opponent and they're going to criticize. I mean, come on, just give the guy a break. He's been off for 3.5 years.
And while I think Tim Tszyu, I guess he's targeting Tim Tszyu. Is that's the ultimate?
Yeah.
And while Tim Tszyu should win that fight, he's not after that Fundora fight, man. That's not a cakewalk anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's had a skid, he's
Akram fight too after being knocked out from Akram. So he's had some,
Yeah. So it's not
back losses.
It's not cut and dry, man. I think that's a good fight. I think it's a good fight, man.
That's right.
If Keith can stay in shape, if he can stay healthy, it's a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real good fight. All right, the Austin Williams Patrice Volney fight, that was on DAZN, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, on DAZN then. Austin Williams headlining versus Patrice Volney. Williams wins by unanimous decision over Volney, 118-110, 116-112, and 115-113. Beeb, Austin Williams, it wasn't a great outing. It just wasn't. It was a close fight, everything like that. But are we looking at a next big superstar here? I guess I'm asking.
Well, here's the thing. He's young enough where when these other champions eventually move up to 168, there's a path for him, right? Will he be a Gennady Golovkin ever? No. Will he even be a Jamal Charlo? Probably not. But there is a path to a title for him. He's a good, solid fighter. Will he ever be like an elite guy? Will he ever be the guy? Probably not. You know, so because you got a guy like Hazem Shiraz is going up to 168, right? Janibek is a big guy. He'll eventually be going up to 168 soon too. So, you know, when these guys move up, you know, you got Lara there, who's getting up there. He hasn't had much time left, you know, in boxing, right? He'll probably retire eventually. So if this guy Emma Williams, young guy, there'll be a pathway for him when guys move up and guys retire.
Yeah, I think that's kind of
So for me to say he'll never be champion, that's not wouldn't be fair to him to say that.
No question, he's got talent.
Yeah,
no question.
He's a good solid fighter, but I mean, is he like the guy? Will he be like?
He's a contender versus a champ. You know what I mean? And not to say he won't win a belt, but
he'll be a belt holder. I know you don't like that word, but
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. You're the champion or you ain't a champ. I mean, that's just what I'm saying.
You hate it, but I have to. I have to defend you all the time when the guys destroy you in the chat when you say that. But, you know, it's part of my job here. That's what I signed on for. Sometimes that's right. I gotta be the shield.
Contract. It's in your contract.
I gotta be the shield sometimes.
All right, let's talk about Edgar Berlanga versus Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So Berlanga wins by a first round TKO. You know, Ortiz looks like he didn't even train for the fight. Did you see him at the weigh-in?
Yeah, he didn't look.
Was it 160? He was like 160?
Yeah.
He looked like he didn't run. Didn't train a day. You know how like you're typically your razor sharp around the waist and everything like that?
Yeah.
He looked like he had just eaten dinner or whatever when he got.
He looked like me after a couple trips to the Flaming Grill buffet, man.
Right. I'm like, what? I'm like, I couldn't believe he's only 160. He looked sick at the weigh-in. He really did. He looked sick. You know?
You gotta be honest. I mean,
where did they find him?
I don't know.
You know?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you ever seen a fighter have like a victory parade after a loss?
No, I haven't.
I'm seeing footage of Berlanga like in a car riding up and down the street, like cheering and stuff, like he did something just because he went the distance against Canelo. And again,
Canelo.
Yeah, like you went the distance. I didn't give him a round in the fight.
No, and I told you after that fight, I said I think there was a gentleman's agreement in there. There was a silent gentleman's agreement.
Whatever it was,
you don't hit me, you don't hurt me, and we're gonna keep fighting. We're just gonna trade. We're gonna go. I'm gonna let you go the distance, and I won't get you out of there.
I've said this about Canelo, and this is just my opinion. People can agree or disagree. And I know Jerry went nuts when I said this, but if you don't press him, he's not going to go after you and go in for the kill. He's at a point in his career now. If he can coast to victory, he's going to coast to victory because the end is near.
Yeah,
you can say, you know, he's been a pro for he's going on his 21st professional year in boxing.
Yeah,
this guy's not looking to overextend himself in a fight if he doesn't have to. So that's just my take on it. I know Jerry, when I said that, what are you talking about? He went nuts, but that's just how I see it. I mean, all you got to do, like, when was the last time Canelo had a knockout?
He doesn't take those chances anymore.
Yeah, he's coasting.
Yeah. And you watch that Bivol fight. He didn't take chances in there either.
No.
And he was down.
He was down.
You know?
So, still a great fighter. You know, still a great fighter, but I mean, he's just,
listen, like, for Berlanga, like, what were you doing in there? Were you there just, you know, just because you say you were, you know?
Listen, I went to 12 rounds. That's the goal was to go 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And not get knocked out.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
His goal was to cash that fat check and have that moral victory. Hey, all the power to him. If you're happy with that, you're happy with that.
There you go.
I find it bizarre. That's all.
Yeah, I tell you, and he didn't exactly the guy he was fighting last night. I mean, like, come on, man.
And then he was like, "Oh, I'm back. I can beat everybody now." And I would love to see him fight Caleb Plant next. Oh, I would love to. I think Caleb
Plant will destroy him.
I think Caleb.
But when was the last time Plant fought?
It was last year sometime, right?
Okay. Not too bad then.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Yeah, he's been
not
in there.
Bad. Let's talk about the star of the night. To me, he stole the card, man. Omari Jones.
You look good.
Versus Alessio Mastronunzio. Jones didn't, yeah, easy for me to say. Jones didn't disappoint as he got a second round TKO over Mastro Nunzio. Jones came out sharp. His technique is solid, and he looks good. He looks like the best prospect that we've seen since Errol Spence.
You were high on this guy, yeah.
I am. Yeah. And I told you the week leading into this, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be hard to stop, man. He really is. If he keeps his head on right and he doesn't go party and take the Errol Spence route, because that's the other thing you can't control. You cannot control that, man. When, these 20-year-olds get the money, the cars, women, anything they want, and people are catering to them and stuff, all of a sudden you're indestructible. You know what I mean? Now you're doing you get involved in that party life and stuff. And that's hard thing to get, that's a hard thing to get past. It really is.
That's right.
Everybody buying you drinks, everybody's, so if he can stay on the narrow, and the way they do that is what? They keep him busy.
Keep him busy.
Got to keep him busy. Just like what they did with Tyson. They said, when he gets idle time, that's not good. That's no good. We got to keep you in training constantly. Maybe he goes out once or twice a night between fights, but the rest, we got to keep you ready. We got to keep you in shape to get you out there. And if they can do that, they got a champion.
Yeah.
And he looked good.
He looked good.
He looked really good.
Yeah. I'll be keeping an eye on him.
Beeb, is he ready for a title shot now?
No, come on. You always do this. It's your fault that Jared Anderson turned out to be the way he did, because
it was my fault.
You were hyping him up.
How was it my fault?
Putting out the false stories that he was knocking Tyson Fury out in sparring.
Well, first of all, that's what I heard. I'm just saying, I've got a source on the inside. This is what I heard, that he knocked him out in training.
What was your source? ChatGPT? Come on.
No,
please.
I can't. We don't give up our sources here at Ringside Reporter. You know that. You read the contract. What's the matter with you?
Please.
I'm telling you, he's ready now.
All right, just make sure you don't rush him like you rushed Jared Big Baby Anderson.
Listen, there's only so much I can do. Come on. I can't fight for the guy. What am I going to do?
Put too much pressure on him, and then you saw
too much pressure on him. He's ready right now. Put him in. Jermaine Ortiz versus Yomar Alamo. Ortiz wins by unanimous decision over Alamo, 99-91, 98-92, 99-91.
Yeah.
Pretty much a walkover fight.
That's right.
So what are you going to do?
Very one-sided.
Did some chicks fight this weekend?
I don't remember. I don't think was last weekend, wasn't it?
Was it last weekend? I don't know.
Was last weekend. I don't think
it doesn't matter to me.
You don't care anyway, so
I could care.
What difference does it make? You don't,
Yeah, I don't
pretend like you care all of a sudden now.
All right, that was it for last weekend's action. Let's go ahead and check out the schedule here. What's coming up next week? So what do we got here? And let's see. Now there's a fight on tonight. I guess it's on UFC Fight Pass, or maybe it's going on. I imagine it's going on right now.
Yeah.
Callum Walsh versus Dean Sutherland. So yeah. Cletus Selden on that undercard. Great. March 22nd, next week on Amazon Prime Video in Las Vegas. Sebastian Fundora versus Cordell Booker, 12 rounds for Fundora's WBC and WBO junior lightweight titles. How about that? How about Sebastian Fundora, WBC and WBO champion?
Yeah, he was supposed to get that Spence fight, but I don't think Spence is coming back, bro.
I don't think Spence is coming back.
And I'm glad he's not coming back. That guy's not.
Yeah.
What
wasn't he like slurring his words and stuff like that? That's
there's a lot of things that were going on with him and the heart.
Yeah.
And then just that was a bad beating against Crawford. So
yeah, that coupled with that wreck he had, and I don't think he was the same after that. I don't think he was the same after that.
No, he wasn't. And then it just added.
Can you imagine what a traumatic thing that was?
And I
get your car rolling over and then to see it on video and then you're still here. You know what I mean? That's like, man, that's.
And I was saying it the week of the fight, leading up to the fight week, he didn't look right. He didn't sound right. He just again, I don't want to take anything away from Terrence Crawford, but he just didn't look right. He didn't look right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I hope he does retire. I really do.
I hope he does
retire. because there's no real reason for him to fight anymore. I don't think he needs the money. And even if you do, man, like there's other stuff you can do. You're qualified to do other stuff. So, no way. Fight Doctor. CCBE, Cisco certified boxing. Is Fight Doctor Cisco certified? No way.
Is he?
I don't know. Fight Doctor, are you Cisco certified?
Not sure if he is or not. But if he is, congratulations.
That's awesome, dude. It'd be interesting to see what cert it is. Elijah Garcia versus Terrell Gausha on that undercard. Jesus Alejandro Ramos versus Kevin Salgado. And that's pretty much it. There's a big card. It's got looks like about 12 fights on there. But not a great card, I'll be honest with you. But it's on Prime Video. It's free. So if you've got Amazon Prime and you got it, there you go.
It's about time they give us a free fight without having to be on pay-per-view.
Especially PBC, my gosh.
I know.
Fight Doctor says he holds a CCNP. That's very good, man. Very good. Love it.
Good for
when
him,
you getting your IE? When you getting your CCIE?
Don't rush the
kid. He knows what I'm talking about.
Don't rush the kid, please.
Don't rush it.
What's going on today? Like you're being very assertive.
Certified professional.
You're being very assertive today.
Talking to Fight Doctor. I know he can get that. He can get the IE.
Let me find out. You got
two tests. It's two tests. You can run them through.
Let me find out. You got Antonio filling out college applications right now at 15. I mean, take it easy.
You got Lena doing that now.
Please.
Yeah, she'll be a senior next year, man.
Oh, good.
So we're already looking at colleges. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
Craziness, man. It's too fast. March 22nd on DAZN in Sydney, Australia. George Kambosos versus Dodd Jordan. 12 rounds, junior welterweights. Sky Nicholson versus Tiara Brown. 10 rounds or 20 minutes.
That's a great fight. That's
it's
a good fight. I walked into that one.
Yeah.
20 minutes. Why did I do it?
20 minutes, huh? 20 minutes to decide.
Women are never going to get any love on this show from this kid. Why did I walk into it?
And the worst part about it, there's another there's like a co-main of chicks, and then the one underneath that. There's another chick fight. Chernika Johnson versus Nina Hughes for Johnson's WBA.
Fight. It's a good card, man. You got to start.
It's a good card. Did you just say it was a good card?
Yes.
Did you pay for that card?
I mean, let's
it's on DAZN.
Let's not get
for
it. Let's not get crazy, please. Stop pocket watching, please.
Oh man! And then the week after, March 29th, looks like Zepeda versus Farmer, and then Michaela Mayer versus Sandy Ryan.
Yeah, the Mayer Sandy Ryan fight is a good fight. You like Michaela Mayer, please. You said you liked her before. Come on. Don't give me this. Don't give me this now, please.
I'm just saying. I mean, come on. What's the matter with you? Fight Doctor he says, looking to do the CCIE lab. This is a tough one. This is a tough test. There's two of them. You got the written and you got the lab. Looking to do the CCIE by the end of the year or early next year. You know how much bank Fight Doctor's going to be bringing in if he gets that?
I've been telling people about Fight Doctor for years, man. This guy is a very intelligent individual. I've been telling people for years.
Yeah, but it came from you, so nobody really believed it. When it comes from somebody intelligent, that's when they got to put the bank on it. You know what I'm saying?
So
when I tell you, I believe he can get the CCIE. I'm just saying.
If I stop pulling out my certifications, let you know I was the Hoop It Up 3-on-3 champion back in 2001.
Wasn't that the COVID year? That was the COVID year. You were the champion.
2001. That was years ago.
Were you in third grade then? Stop.
No, come on, please. I'm 56 years old, for Christ's sakes. Third grade.
Third grade. Eric has high hopes for the viewers. I try to motivate you guys. This is why I'm here. I'm trying to motivate you guys. Come on. If you guys like what we're doing, hit the like button on there. Like and subscribe to us, man. It really helps us out. Beeb, tell them about your show.
Yes, make sure you check us out every Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the Populist Perception Podcast, myself, Ludo, and Maestro, every Sunday.
There it is. Yeah, and that's a good show, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a good show. It's one of those things where, like, I don't necessarily agree with everything you guys say, but the thing I like about all you guys, man, you always give it food for thought. You always make me see the other side of the argument, which I definitely appreciate. So that's good stuff. All right, let's bring Robert on here. 530, you're live.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Bobby?
What's going on, Robert?
How you been, Bob?
Not much. I'm glad when this weather gets better around here.
No, I was complaining about
Terrible
something.
California. What do you got over there?
You live in California and you're kind of about the weather. I mean, the goal on this.
Hey, on Friday we had snow. Okay.
Oh,
So,
well, golly gee, you had a
talk about some snow.
You had a
Let's
couple
talk about some snow. I mean, Beeb's over here in Boston. I'm out here in the Midwest getting snow.
Have you ever gone through the blizzard of 78?
Oh,
when you're up to your chin in snow?
Forget about it.
When that happens, then you can start talking.
No, it's all right. Anyway, no, this has been a lousy weekend for weather around here, but other than that, everything's good.
Are you looking forward to those two girls fighting next week, Robert?
I'm going to watch them because I'm going to watch the George Kambosos fight. But as far as looking forward to them, I don't know. The fight I really enjoyed yesterday was Nick Paul. I love Nick Paul.
Because Robert's a man, son.
All of a sudden you love Nick Paul because I love Nick Paul. You never even knew who the guy was. You thought he was a male stripper before I told you who he was. You never even watched the guy. Give me the credit for putting you onto this guy. Give me the credit for putting you onto this guy. Say it.
Would you be quiet so I can give you the credit? First of all, I got to give Joe credit because the first time I watched him, I didn't know who he was, and then I talked to Joe, and he told me all about him, and I've liked watching him ever since.
Thank you, Robert.
So what did you think of his performance yesterday?
It was a tough fight, but he came through. That's what I like about him. He gets in tough fights, but he finds a way to get through them. I still say he got ripped off with the Ray Vargas draw. He should have won that fight. As far as I'm concerned, that should be a victory, and he should have another title. I think his next fight, to answer your question, Eric, is going to be Stephen Fulton. I think that's who he fights next.
You think that's who he fights next? All right. I love that fight, by the way.
I think that's who he fights next. Because, see, you were asking about Inoue's deal. May 4th, he fights in Las Vegas. That's on a Sunday, by the way. And then in September, he's going to fight again in Japan. And then in December, he'll fight in Riyadh.
So that December
that's
fight. That December fight could be the Nick Paul fight.
That's correct. That's correct. That's why I say if Nick Paul can fight Stephen Fulton and beat Stephen Fulton, and then after Inoue fights his fight in September, you can entice Inoue to move up in December and fight for not one but two titles. See, that's how you get the monster's attention. You give him multiple belts to fight for. There's no way.
Like you're on a first name basis with the dude now.
What do you mean? That's how you get the monster's attention? Like, what do you call him or FaceTime him and you like ask him what turns him on or something? Like, what do you mean that you know how to get the guy's attention? Like you're on you know the guy. This guy tells you This guy tells you what floats his boat.
You know how Beeb is, you give him an inch, you know how he is.
You need to play the Boston thing because he's out of control right now.
Now you want to be the producer of the show all of a sudden. Like you think you're directing traffic here. You call in, you want to call shots. Yeah. That's not your place. That's not your place. You're like the kid in the back of the class. You raise your hand and you speak when you're called on. That's how it works.
It's not that hard.
Give me a break. And as far as this TKO thing, for all the idiots that think boxing is going to be destroyed by this, wake up and smell the coffee. It's going to be just fine. You're going to love it when it starts. I'm firmly behind that.
Yeah, I am too. For sure.
I mean, and Joe, you're absolutely right. Every time something new comes along, people in boxing, especially fans, they freak the hell out, and it's not necessary. Now, PBC is a shadow of its former self. Right now, it's not doing good at all because just about every fight they put on, except for the one coming up on this Saturday, they want to charge people for. That's not a good boxing organization, in my opinion. You know, I mean, they used to do good things. Now they're doing terrible things with the way they treat people. But overall, whenever a new thing comes along, people freak out when it happens. Everybody freaked out when DAZN came on the scene. How are we going to be able to watch these fights? Well, now and look, I was one of those too, because when it first came out, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all the fights off of TV. But hey, now I've been exposed to it for a number of years. I think they do a great job.
Like it's COVID or AIDS or something. I've been exposed to it.
Some type of disease or something. You've been exposed to it. What's wrong with you today, man?
He's out of control, man. He's totally out of control. He's out of control.
But no, I think the TKO thing with Turkey and Dana, and Nick Khan, I think the three of them are going to do a good job, and I don't see any problem with it at all.
Yeah, I'm optimistic as well, Robert.
All right, Robert, hang on one second here. I'm gonna let's go to the news and rumors. Let's talk about this TKO thing.
Okay.
So, the way I understand it to be, the way I think, because Turkey already bought Ring Magazine, okay, and he's got that Ring Magazine belt. All right, so my guess is, and then like they were talking about like when he didn't want the belts, or it's kind of like the PBC didn't want to really give credence to the other belts or whatever when they first came on the scene because they were going to make a PBC championship, which I think this is what these guys are going to do. Like the Ring Magazine title will be the title. That's the one.
That is correct.
That they want that to be the one. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure with Dana, I'm sure they'll reface that belt and everything like that, and it'll look pretty good. But that being said, how is this going to work? I don't know, like, how the logistics are going to work. So you have a WBC champion. They'll still fight for the WBC belt, and I get the belts, but like everybody, are they going to have like their own? Is it going to be like their own thing where they're buying fighters kind of like PBC did to put in there and they compete inside their little, group of fighters, their little stable of fighters?
What I'm hearing, let me just add this in real quick, Robert, and then I'll let you go. What I'm hearing is that Crawford-Canelo fight in September is going to be promoted by TKO. Right? Okay. So I'll give you my quick opinion on what I think is going to happen. I do think that they will have their own little UFC style type league. I know they don't want to call it a league, but it's going to be sort of like a league.
Well, that's what they're calling it. They're calling it a league. They're calling it a fight league.
But what I do think is they'll still probably have like, a pay-per-view fight every now and then. Will they work with other promoters? Maybe like Dana White saying he doesn't really want to do that. Right. So
how are you going to get that done without another promoter? And like some of these guys are under contract.
Yeah.
Right. And how are you going to get that done without another promoter?
Well, think about it, Eric. Top Rank is losing their television deal with ESPN, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe
they'll get some of their fighters. Maybe they'll get some of the PBC fighters because they're not under. None of the PBC fighters are under like contracts with promoters per se, so they can get some of those fights. What I think is going to happen, this is just my opinion. I think this is going to be focused solely on America because that's where the problem really is in American boxing. It's a niche sport right now in America. Yeah. So I think people that are like fighters from Golden Boy, fighters from PBC, and fighters from Top Rank, I think they'll get some of their fighters, and I think they'll sign them to contracts, and they will possibly create this league style type organization. where they have their own belts, they're going to go with the original 8 weight classes like they said they wanted to do. You'll have pretty much the UFC in boxing, but that doesn't mean the other boxing that we already have is going away. You'll just have another, just like you have like the Misfits boxing, just like you have bare knuckle boxing. This will just be another entity.
I guess my thing is, though,
it's an addition.
If they don't work with other promoters, how's it gonna? You know what I'm saying? Because
I think it'll function as just as the UFC does, where they don't work with PFL, they don't work with one championship, so they'll just,
and ultimately the best fighters are in that stable.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's what the plan is.
Yeah.
Like for example, Eric, last night. Now this is a terrible example to use, but he's the first one that comes to mind because this occurred last night. Edgar Berlanga fulfilled his contract last night with Matchroom, so now he becomes totally free to sign with anybody that he wants.
Do you think Matchroom picks him up?
No, I think they let him go.
I think they let him go.
He's a headache. He's a headache.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. TKO can wait until fighters' contracts expire with whatever promoter, and they can swoop in and pick up the fighters when they become free agents.
Yeah,
like
Robbie,
Kevin Haney, for example. Yeah.
There's probably already a lot of free agents already out there that they could scoop up, in my opinion, especially in the United States.
Well, yeah. Well, Devin Haney is not signed with a promoter either.
No.
So there's another one. So, that's what I'm saying. As soon as fighters' contracts expire with an existing promoter, Turkey and Dana can swoop in and give them a contract, and there you go.
They're not rolling the whole thing out, the whole project out until 2026. So they got time to look for fighters and stuff. But I am hearing their first fight that they're going to be promoting is that Crawford Canelo fight.
Gotcha.
So
and is Crawford? I mean, we know Canelo's going to take a fight in the interim. Is Crawford going to take a fight in the interim?
No.
I haven't heard anything about
what
that.
they're saying. What they're saying is he's taking this time to build himself up to 168 pounds to get himself acclimated to the weight. So I don't know. But here's the thing: you know
he's going to come in shape. I mean, he's a gym rat, from what we understand.
So there's two ways to look at it. Do you fight right away, or do you wait until your body adjusts to being at 168 pounds? So if you don't fight until September, you're giving yourself enough time to get acclimated to the heavier weight, training at the heavier weight, sparring at the heavier weight, as opposed to just jumping into a fight, in May, and you may not be acclimated to the weight fully. So there's two ways of looking at it, and there's the other way of looking at it is, you're coming off a layoff. Are you going to be, are you going to be as sharp as if you had another fight in between?
Yeah.
So I understand both sides of it, but Crawford is a professional. He knows his body better than anyone, and we've never seen the guy come out of shape to anything. So
I agree.
Got to give him the benefit of the doubt here on this.
All right, Robert, we're going to put you back on hold here.
Yeah, take off.
Okay.
Oh, that's cold-blooded. Why you do that to him? That's cold. Under a microscope says it means he's on a cycle. Iceman says now he needs to cycle off.
Everyone's accusing him of cycling because he's a snack fighter now. He's affiliated with Victor Conte.
Schuler Jameson asked the question of the day: where are the white girls? There you go.
Whatever that means.
I don't know. Crawford is with snack testing in Vada, so he will not test positive. 718 New York. 718, you're live.
Hey guys, what's going on? How are you guys doing?
What's going on?
What up?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up with your man Berlanga, man? What's up with your man Berlanga? What's up with your man Berlanga, man?
That's your boy. That's
throwing parades after losses. Guys throwing parades after losses, man. Is that how you guys do it?
That's how they do it, man.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You know that guy he fought. He was in prison for 10 years. Nah, man. That's definitely. We don't rep that guy. We definitely don't rep that guy.
I don't know. That's not what I heard.
No. saw your video, Joe, on Sean Porter still trying to defend Devin Haney, and this guy takes the worst takes in boxing. I think I don't know who's worse, either him or Tim Bradley.
He's terrible.
Oh,
yeah, him and Tim Bradley. Everybody who comes from Las Vegas has bad picks, man.
Bro, he
was born and raised in Las Vegas, so he's not good.
They fought 6 times in the amateurs, and they were 3-3, right? So guys, Garcia beat him 3 times. I know the pro game's a different thing, but if Devin Haney had an off night, then what do you call what Ryan Garcia had? The guy came in overweight. He was drinking and partying throughout the camp. He was the guy that we didn't even know who was going to show up to the fight. He wasn't even training. And during the fight, he's huffing and puffing his way through the fight, looking up at the clock every 3 seconds, wondering how much time's left on the clock. Well, Haney had an off night. What about Ryan Garcia? That wasn't the best version of Ryan Garcia either. No. So what are we talking about here?
You know what this tells me, though? Just listening to his take, and it's been consistent from a lot of retired fighters that seem to have bad takes consistently. It just makes me lean on the fact that these guys shouldn't be judges at all, because before I would see these horrible decisions and I would say, well, maybe we need former boxers to be judging these fights, and maybe we would get better decisions. But,
you know why?
Not
to cut you off, Raphael. You know what the problem is with the boxers? They're already in the industry, and they have friends, and they all come up in the amateurs together. They're a tight-knit group, so they have biases. And they don't have the ability to be objective. So that's the problem with these boxers.
It would be very hard to be objective.
Yeah, because they all came up together. They all came up together in the amateurs, a lot of them. That's the problem.
Not to mention all the gyms and everything. You see the people coming up, and
sparring,
see all
these guys. They sparred with each other in camps, getting ready for fights. So they're biased. They're not objective. Sean Porter is biased.
I agree. But with the whole bias thing, I like to add on the whole Turkey thing. It practically lashes onto the same thing. That is just we live in a sport that is very tribal, and people are very tribalistic. You know, one guy can do no wrong, and then the other person is the most horrible guy on earth. So it just comes down to that, because when Al Heyman was doing almost the exact same thing compared to Turkey, the guy was apparently a savior. And you mentioned it, how he's practically stalled and blackballed, fights from not happening. So at the end of the day, there's so much tribalism in boxing that it's very hard to stay objective about it. But with the Berlanga thing, I just got to say no comment, man. But enjoy the show, guys.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Rafa.
We knew you. We all know you went to that parade, man. I saw you.
He went to that parade.
I saw you in the crowd, man.
You seen him. He was waving at that limo, too.
He was waving. He ran up to the limo, tried to jump in the back seat, but they wouldn't let him.
There's a lot of security at those things, man. You can't just
act like they don't. You know what I'm saying? There were like 10 people. They cut it out.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Please.
What's the matter with you? WBO orders Usyk to face Joseph Parker. Babe, I don't necessarily care for this fight. You don't think it's going to happen, though?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think he'll still fight Dubois. When they say they're ordering him to fight, we see how these sanctioning bodies work. When you order someone to fight, that doesn't mean you're going to fight him next. Doesn't even mean you're going to fight him next year.
Or at all.
It means we're ordering the fight, but it's still going to happen when we decide it's going to happen.
Right.
And if they file an exemption with the WBO, I just think the Dubois fight's too big. I think the Dubois fight's next. And Usyk's already been calling Dubois out, talking about Dubois, and Dubois has already been talking to him. And they already have the storyline with with that punch which I think was a legal punch, but some people don't. But so and the fact that Dubois does very well in the UK, people, especially after beating Anthony Joshua. So
did you just say you thought it was an illegal punch?
No, I thought it was legal.
It was definitely legal.
Yeah,
on that replay, legal. It was legal.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was. A lot of people think it was illegal. I think it was definitely.
Even after the replay?
Yeah, I think they should have counted him, but a lot of people
absolutely should have counted him.
Yeah,
Daniel Dubois, like I told you,
I will tell you
my guy. He's my guy. You guys know I've had him. And anybody who's listened to this show knows from Jump Street, I've had Daniel Dubois.
You're such a front runner.
How dare you?
Please.
How dare you? You better read your contract. Tell you that. Everybody knows me, and everybody knows my word. And I've been with Daniel Dubois since the beginning. I said he was going to knock out Usyk, and what'd he do? He knocked him out. Now, they robbed him. Nothing we can do about that. But, yeah. Do you think he goes to Dubois next? And what if the WBO says, no, we want you to fight Parker next, and they strip him? Would that even be a threat? I mean, would that even hinder that fight, would it? I mean, or does he want to stay the undisputed champ?
The thing with the WBO and the WBC, they're not like the IBF. They're a lot more less strict with their regulations. The IBF seems to be the only one that is just hell bent on making sure you fight in a mandatory fight against a fighter that nobody knows about, and obviously that's not the case here. But the WBO is a lot more lenient, and so is the WBC. So, could that happen? I'm not saying it would never happen, but I don't think the WBO will force the fight next. Maybe Parker will get the winner.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
And you know what? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind the Usyk Parker fight. And you know me, I hate rematches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I hate rematches.
But you like the Dubois Usyk rematch, right?
He beat Usyk. He beat him.
Yeah, I think
he knocked him out with a body shot. Listen,
I think so too.
I don't care what the judges say. I know what we saw.
Yeah.
He knocked him out. And that was a legal shot.
Even if he gets up, which I don't even think he would have gotten up, even if he does get up, he's in dire straits. He's in dire straits.
Yeah, that fight's over.
Yeah.
That fight's over. That was one of the biggest screw-ups I think we've seen, especially with instant replay. Like, I don't understand how they missed that. You know what I mean?
Again, sometimes you have to ask yourself, did they really miss it, or did they? Well, you know, that's I hate to say it.
No,
but that's
I think you're 100% on. I think you're 100% on.
Sorry to say.
Yeah.
And then the commission in New York admitted that was a knockdown. Admitted that the referee made a mistake. Admitted that they made a mistake. And then they still don't correct their mistake. That's imagine. Yeah. I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but if I'm Lamont Roach, I'm suing the hell out of that fucking commission. They cost him money.
Yeah.
So now when he goes into this rematch with Davis, he doesn't have he can't turn around and say, well, I beat you the first time. I should be getting more money. He can't do that now because it was a draw.
And you know what? Davis doesn't have to give him a rematch because it was a draw.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Again, these people don't realize. I'm sure they do realize, but they don't care. People want to talk about Dana White.
What about
look what we have in front of us right now.
Right. What about us? What about our people?
Look what's going on right now. Lou DiBella says it. He said it a million times. Guy's been in the sport for like over 35 years. We did it to ourselves. The sport did it to itself. You stop trying to look for someone else to blame. Blame the sport. It's not just one person. It's the sport.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like I said, with the Lamont Roach thing, with the Dubois thing, Dubois has got to get a shot. I don't care who he gets a shot with. He needs a shot at the title, though.
Well, he's got the IBF belt, but he should get another shot at Undisputed.
He absolutely should.
Correct.
He absolutely should.
Correct.
Fanmio sues Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy, Beeb. Yeah. Fanmio, if you guys remember this, Fanmio is a company that set up Ryan Garcia versus that one kickboxer, Anpo, somebody. It was going to take place in Japan, like it was like the end of the year or something like that. You know, those little things that they do. There was some back and forth with Golden Boy and Oscar stating that Garcia is not allowed to box in the event. Ultimately, Ryan pulled out with a wrist issue. Everybody knows he probably didn't have a wrist issue. Just that's my guess. That's not factual. It's just my guess, you know. And now Garcia's scheduled to face Rolly Romero. Fanmio says that he's not allowed to fight until he fulfills his obligation with them. They put out a statement, quote, despite receiving payment and the promotion being well underway, Fanmio was deceived into organizing an event which Ryan never intended to participate in. In addition, Golden Boy Promotions actively worked to sabotage the event, despite Ryan's exclusivity. Excuse me.
Exclusivity.
there's always words that you have trouble saying.
Yeah, I have.
that's one of them.
Familiarity is the word that I have hard time.
Yes, exclusivity.
Yeah,
to the event. He is set to fight on May 2nd in Times Square, disregarding his contractual obligations. I don't think Fanmio has a leg to stand on here. I don't. I mean, Golden Boy has the promotional rights to him. It was probably Garcia's fault that he signed in with the Fanmio fight to begin with, because that's what Golden Boy was saying, that, hey, we got you under contract, nobody else.
They can't do anything. They're not going to get anything out of Golden Boy, but if they did give Ryan Garcia any type of money, then he would have to give it back to them. But he can't sign they screwed up, because if they knew he already had a contractual agreement with Golden Boy,
they should have asked to look at his contract.
Yeah, they can't. They didn't do their due diligence, so they're never going to be able to get anything out of Golden Boy.
So now, if you as a promoter, wouldn't you as a promoter say, this isn't, we want to put this guy on an exhibition, and this guy said he's down for it and everything like that. He's currently under contract with Golden Boy, but he says it's okay with his contract if he comes out. Wouldn't you have a lawyer look at that so you don't get sued?
Yeah, they didn't do the due diligence. It's their fault. 100% their fault. Right. Yeah, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. That's Bush League on their part.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
So yeah, they're pretty much out of that. I don't see a path forward for them, to be honest.
They're not going to get anything. Not at
all. Joe Joyce is now set to face Filipe Ergovic on April 5. Beeb, good fight.
So it's a good fight, but it's a tough fight for Joe Joyce. I don't think he's going to win.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Hrgovic may stop him.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, Joe Joyce has not looked good as of late.
No,
not look good as of late.
Not at all.
All right, let's go back to the phone here quickly. Last call, 410 Baltimore. Jerry, you're live.
Jerry,
what's up, there, fellas?
What's happening?
What up, Jerry? What up,
buddy,
Jerry?
Where do you want me to start schooling you first?
You tell us.
You decide.
Go ahead.
The floor is yours.
I got my notebook. I got my notebook and pen out right now, Ben. I'm ready to be schooled. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm tuning in a little late. I just got back from the beach, so I missed a lot of the show. But I want to say this: Daniel Dubois, in my estimation, got robbed in the Usyk fight.
Yeah.
To me, that was perfectly good.
We agree. We agree with you.
Oh, we agree on it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
well, we're off to a good start. Yeah, I mean, daggone. If you can't hit the guy there, where in the body, where can you hit him? Was it on his belt? It was on the belt a little bit, but the belt was up in his midsection.
I think the referee called that a legal spot. Like when they put the fighters together and they say, hey, if you go here, we're going to call it legal. It's okay. Anything below.
Many times we've seen refs already say that's good. 9 out of 10.
Time.
Almost
99.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll tell them, hey, the belt is up. Usyk's got a slim waist. You have to wear that belt up high. I don't think he's looking to get a competitive advantage by doing that. It's just if he wears it down low, it's going to fall off. You see, it's just the physics of it. And he was beating the crap out of Dubois up until that point, to be honest. So you got to favor him going into a rematch. But that fight ended in controversy. Very well could have been over right then and there. You see what I mean? That's the fight for Usyk. Who else? Wilder's washed up ass? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Wilder is too washed up. He just is. And I understand why Usyk wants to fight him because he was one of the top 3 or 4 guys. I get that, but the guy is washed up. He's been washed up really since the second Fury fight. And the third Fury, he took massive beatings. And his punch resistance is gone. He's damn near got 50 fights. He's done.
I don't think he's coming
Usyk
back.
will beat the...
I heard he may be coming back. I heard he may be. They were talking about him coming back. Yeah.
Oh, I hope
that's
not.
yeah.
Well, Usyk said he's got a couple guys he wants to fight. Wilder is one.
Oh no.
And Dubois is another.
Oh.
I just don't see no need for the Wilder fight.
Not at all. I hope
he's done. Yeah, and beyond that, I don't guess there's much going on. People still talking about Tank Davis. Bullshit. Call with the knockdown. How the fuck does the commissioner come straight out and say, yeah, it was a knockdown? but we ain't going to do shit about it.
That's what I don't understand.
This ought to tell you, this ought to tell you everything you need to know about boxing. As much as I love it, the sport is just flat out corrupt. It's flat out nonsensical. They're admitting that it was a knockdown. Of course it was. He took a knee, and that cost what's his name the fight. Yet they're like, we ain't going to do shit about it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
So,
it's ridiculous.
I'm going to take it easy on you guys this week. I love you guys. You know that, right?
That's right.
Oh, he just said he loves us, man. I'm actually moved by that.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry.
All right, well, okay, guys.
All right, man.
All right.
There you go.
He said he loved us, man.
That's right.
I never thought I'd hear those words out of his mouth.
We're lovable people, Beeb. We're lovable people.
That is true.
I mean, come on.
We are good human beings.
That's right.
We are a credit to society.
I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to sound, you know how it is.
You know how many emails and fan letters we get saying that how we uplift people and how we get people through the week by listening to this show. You guys don't realize it. We don't like to brag about it.
Look what we did for Fight Doctor here. You know what I mean? Like, we coached him. He's going to go get his CCIE now because of us. Because of us, Beeb.
That's right.
I love it. There you go. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com. You can also find me on X at ringside73, and we will see you guys next week.